Hey guys, welcome to this very special episode of The Passionate Few. Today we brought in our good friend Amanda, who is a social media expert, and today she's going to pick my mind about not only how I was able to build The Passionate Few into an awesome community of amazing people like yourselves, but also how I've managed to turn my knowledge into a business and how I've been able to take that expertise and create a bunch of new opportunities from coaching to masterminds and the like. So in this interview, Amanda wanted to pick my mind and we're going to share some value. So make sure to give it a thumbs up if you guys like it, smash the subscribe button, and follow Amanda or myself. And if you guys have any questions for upcoming interviews or questions, feel free to comment them below. So with no further ado, let's get right into it. Thank you, Amanda, for being here to interview me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Yes.
So I have a list of questions that I wrote down.
Okay.
I'm kind of going to just jump around and then we'll flow it and we'll see what other questions come up in the midst of that.
Okay.
Well, I know that you're actually promoting for the KBB Mastermind that's coming up.
Right.
Are you super excited about that?
I'm super excited about that. Being involved with Tony Robbins and Graziosi, they had the biggest internet launch ever when it came to sharing this with people, and I of course was a customer of it first, and I had the good fortune of not only helping Tony and Dean, but I got to interview Dean. I got to use the course myself. We're able to build a multiple six-figure business around it. We created our first live event through the mastermind experience and through the knowledge that I learned through the course, and we're able to donate thousands of dollars to kids with terminal cancer.
Yes, I was there, so I remember that.
Yes.
It was really special.
And so it was awesome to not only create impact and help people by learning these specific step-by-step strategies, but it was also awesome to impact other people in the process, because I'm able to, it's win-win-win. I get to help myself by turning my knowledge and my passion, right, the passionate few, turn my passion into profit, but also help other people, elevate other people, and simultaneously do something like line it up with the cause for kids with terminal cancer. It was amazing. So to be able to do all that, partner with Tony and Dean, and be involved with them. Tony actually flew me out to his Date with Destiny event in Florida, which was mind-blowing.
That's so crazy, because knowing how much Tony means to you and
Yes.
your whole journey,
Yeah.
being able to work with him and partner with him,
Yes.
I think it's so amazing.
It was amazing, and it was a no-brainer because we're asked to share a lot of stuff. And the thing is, I wouldn't share it with others unless I would actually invest in it myself.
Which
right?
you did.
Exactly. Well, I did it myself, and long before we ever had coaching programs or anything, I was investing in coaches. I was stretching myself, finding ways to afford what I otherwise couldn't, or investing in things that maybe pushed me over the edge, because I knew that the same thinking that got me to being stuck wasn't the same thinking that was going to get me to the next level.
Right.
And so to get to a new level, I had to take a new level of action and exude a new level of commitment. And so it was amazing to not only be a student of that, but then to share that with other people and, hear the thousands of people around the world who've took it and from any niche in the world take their expertise, whether they, they're specialists in hair or marketing or business or sports. I mean, any niche you can imagine, if you have a step-by-step system, you can literally take that and build it into a group model where you're coaching, multiple people at a time with a live event, or you could do it virtually. So when I heard about it through Tony, somebody who's inspired me for years to change my own life, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, I've actually dabbled in doing influencer coaching online and doing a course, and it's crazy the potential that you can have in a business in that.
Yes.
And I didn't realize it, and I actually had a lot of lack of confidence going into
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And I feel
everybody
like
does,
this
yeah.
program would have been perfect for me during
Yeah.
that time. I've kind of transitioned now into something else, but
Yeah.
during that time, something like this program would have been perfect for me, because I feel like a lot of, you showed me kind of the course outline, a lot of that, that it touches on is everything that I needed back then.
Exactly.
And I feel like it would have took me to the next level and beyond
Yeah.
if I would have taken that. So
stayed in that vertical.
Exactly.
And what's cool too is like for example, so I was trying to figure out how to, do a live event, right?
Right.
And so I was trying to figure out what are the logistics, right? There's so many things.
I remember you wanted my help on it.
Yeah, I'm like, can you help me with it, right? There's so many things, from the people to the location to logistics to the marketing to how much to charge to what do you teach, how do you lay it out, how do you do the room, how do I extract the wisdom I want to use, how do I decide on the framework? Right?
Is it going to make sense to the other people
Yeah, is it
who
going
are
to make sense? Are they going to love it? Are they going to enjoy it? Am I going to embarrass myself? Am I going to threaten my own brand? Is it going to be a flop? I built a passionate few. Is this one event going to take me down? Right? All those insecurities. And then when you hear things for those of you guys who know Tony Robbins, now he packs out stadiums and places for seminars and huge live events in his own masterminds. But his first event, he had like less than a dozen people show up.
That is so crazy.
So he's taking his wisdom of all those failures,
yeah,
and saying, hey, like, you may start where I started, but you can get to where I got a lot faster. So he condenses that wisdom. But it is crazy to think, like, Tony Robbins, only a few people went, you know?
Yeah, so I kind of have an embarrassing thing to admit. Okay. When I first saw KBB, I didn't know what it stand for. I was like, oh, what does this stand for? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that maybe your followers, your subscribers, maybe they don't know what KBB stands for.
Right.
They don't even know what it's about. They just see it because you've promoted it. And maybe they have a little bit of interest, but they're not fully like, let me dive in and figure out what this is.
Yeah.
So I was hoping through this, you can actually explain what KBB stands for and then obviously what it's all about.
Awesome. So basically the KBB is the knowledge business blueprint, right? And this is whether you already have an existing business, maybe you're a beginner, you're intermediate, right? So at any level, as long as you have an expertise that you can condense and teach and help people with, it basically is the knowledge business blueprint. It teaches you how to turn that knowledge into a business by giving you the blueprint. So it's the KBB. Now the cool part is that you don't actually even have to just be the expert. So when I started doing interviews, right? So I was an expert. I was actually totally broke, $30,000 in debt when I started.
That's so crazy.
But what's cool is the KBB teaches you how to be a knowledge broker. As well. So whether you're the expert or you could be the broker of someone else's expertise. So quick example, I'll give you a super quick version. So imagine that you find somebody who has an expertise and you say, hey, can I pay you, $5,000 to come show up and speak at this event during the weekend?
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
I'll organize all the logistics and you could sell, let's just say hypothetically you sell $25,000 in tickets. You did all the legwork, you pay them their fee, and then you as the broker can make that profit from a business standpoint, but you can also impact the people at that event.
Wow.
By becoming an extension of that expert's knowledge and the teachings.
You're using that channel or that person.
You're using that wisdom and facilitating it for them. So it's win-win-win. It's win for you, win for the people who are attending and learning, and a win for the expert that you're brokering their knowledge. So it allows you, whether it's virtual or in person, whether you're the expert or the broker, it allows you to systematically, step by step, figure out how to do that. And no other resource can teach you how to do that from people as qualified as Tony and Dean.
I had no idea that was even possible to be like a broker. I had no idea. Now I'm kind of like, wow, the wheels are spinning a little bit in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
kind of like a real estate broker, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people might see real estate agents, but see if you're a broker and you have agents underneath you,
right?
The agents get to help the customers and clients, right? So they make money there, and then as the broker, you take a percent of that.
Yeah.
For facilitating and helping them connect with the customers by giving them the resources, the business cards, organizing, facilitating. Exactly. So you can be a broker, or you could be the expert yourself. Tony Robbins, for example, while we know him as a world-renowned business expert with 12 companies doing more than 12, I'm sure, but like over $5 billion in revenue collectively, gross revenue from all his companies. To think that he didn't start as the expert, he actually started as the reporter, as the broker. He was selling seminars for a man named Jim Rohn. Okay. And so he learned from that, and then from that became the expert.
I see.
And then started helping people. So it's like this hidden way of doing things that nobody exposed because nobody really had experience. I mean, how many people do you know really, really killing it in that space? And when you see guys like Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, it's like, okay, and most of the time I'm skeptical when it comes to like courses and information products. Right.
There is a lot out there.
Yeah. And so, but if Tony's name's on it, I'm like, all right,
you automatically trust it.
I got to check it out. And last year we helped literally, it was amazing. I think on the live training, it was over 200,000 people.
That is so crazy to think that many people are being influenced and taught. It just makes you think wow, I feel like this whole evolution of self-education is going to become the new education for the world. I don't know if you've heard stories, but I've heard a lot of stories recently where high schoolers are dropping out because they're just not okay with the traditional education system, and they're finding it so much more beneficial to get educated by courses that you can find online digitally, and it's such an easier connection, and that you learn more and you learn quicker. Yeah. So I think that's so cool that over 200,000 people were. Yeah,
over 200,000 people showed up to live training. And it was insane. And if you guys want more information on it, you can check out the link below. It'll be omarslink.com, OMARSLINK, omarslink.com, if you guys want to check it out. But basically, on that training, I think like literally, I mean, it was literally the highest attended live training in internet marketing history ever for people sharing, stuff like that, let alone those legends. But what's crazy about it, like you're saying, is not only is the course and the movement about turning self-education into the new norm, but the old school education system is broken. How much dialogue happens nowadays? And just think of the overall consensus. I personally went to college, so I'm not saying college is bad per se, right? Like I went to college. I think it had value in certain aspects, but I don't think it was the end all be all. I always knew I wanted to do something I was passionate about, fulfilled by.
Right.
And the reality is so many people have knowledge, skill sets, expertise, or access to people who do, especially with the advent of social media, that you can share it with others, and there are people who are dying to know it, and you can charge for that, and you can help them. So it's like this perfect, it's this perfect storm of the old system not working and a new system. All the right ingredients are there. It's just a matter of putting a blueprint together that can allow you to maximize on that. And, like you said, it's like, I forget the actual numbers, but I think less than a quarter of people who actually get a degree in something end up working in that field as a long-term career. And the thing is, when you're passionate, right, or like passion, I've made my life's work not only doing what I'm passionate about, but also sharing the stories of, over $10 billion worth of entrepreneurs, thought leaders who turned their passion into impact. And I got to tell you, like when I see those stories compared to the stories of people who are not fulfilled with what they're doing, it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think just to add, one thing to reiterate what you said, it's like, I think it's a new economy, right? There was different ages, the industrial age, right? There's different economies. And I think now we're in the knowledge economy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now more than ever, people are looking for these skill sets, expertise. And if you don't have the courage to share it with them, right? If I didn't have the courage to start my show, if I didn't have the courage to put this together, have Kevin doing the audio, have Angel doing the video, have you here and like doing this awesome setup and like doing the show for all these years. Had I not have the courage to do it, I wouldn't have amazing people like this watching.
Yep.
And they're going to go on and do their own inspiring things that are much bigger than this and create that ripple effect. So I think that now more than ever, people are seeing the impact that doing what you're passionate about can have, that just the traditional economy just can't provide for people. There's no way of doing it. A lot of people just don't know, so they get stuck, and as a result, they live somewhere between not happy, but not unhappy enough to change.
Yeah, 100%. I just think it's so nuts that growing up, our jobs, like your job personally and my job personally, were not an option for us. It was always like, I want to be an astronaut, a veterinarian, a teacher,
Yeah.
Never in a million years did I think that I would be here. And I'm sure you didn't think that you were going to be
oh my
there.
God. No way. Yeah.
So it's just, it's amazing to see that transition of like you said, like it being more of like a knowledge era. So with that said, I wanted to ask you, I know that you touched on your event that you had, and obviously you have your podcast and your show. It's super successful. Congratulations, by the way. 100,000 subscribers.
Thank you guys. Couldn't have done it without you. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. Help us grow even more.
Grow that number, yeah. All right. So do you think that the KBB course would have been good for you, or would you have preferred to go like the route that you did, kind of just learning on your own and growing into an expert in your field?
Yeah.
Would you have preferred that? And how do you think if you would have took the KBB course like back a couple of years ago, how do you think that would have changed like your course or journey? Like, do you think that you wish you would have had something like this back then?
For certain.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Not only do I wish I would have had it before, to be honest, in the past, I probably would have been a skeptic, just to be 100% honest.
Okay.
I probably would have been like, oh, another training, another thing.
Right.
Now, granted, it's because Tony and Dean's names are so reputable and they have such high standards in what they do, I would trust the name. But to be honest with you, I would be a skeptic. And I would think like, no, I can do it. But as I've grown in my own personal success with the show and my own journey, one thing I've found is that successful people condense wisdom. They condense the learning curve. And so, for example, if something took, Tony Robbins 10 or 20 or 30, or he's been at it 4 decades now, 40 years to learn, and he's had the seminar, had the event, he's charged this price, he's charged that price, he tried to market it this way, he tried to do this, he tried this type of live event, he tried this digitally, Dean has done the same thing. So when you can condense all those successes, failures, mistakes, all that over the long haul, an investment for a course compared to, you know, the investment that it would cost me on my own to do it dwarfs it.
Yeah,
right? Like,
100%.
so maybe it's a pinch, or maybe I'd have to, you know, maybe sacrifice or really go in there. So I think back then I would have been highly skeptical. I probably would have checked it out and maybe done, you know, like the refund on it or something.
Yeah.
At that time. But as I've grown in my level of commitment and met other people who are successful in their craft, I realize that they're committed, and they're committed to growth. They're committed to investing in themselves. And the highest form of commitment, you know, Grant Cardone says this, is like the highest form of commitment is time and money.
Yeah.
If you put time and money into something, it means you're really in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, if you put money and no time, you're half in. If you put time but no money, same thing, you're half in. But when you put time and money, it means you're committed, you're vested. So I think, although I would have been a skeptic then, it definitely would have shaved the learning curve.
Yeah.
There was tons of mistakes in terms of, you know, little stuff. How many of us get hung up on, like, whether you know, want to be a coach or consultant in something, but you don't know how much to charge, or like,
right. Oh my gosh. That was like a huge part of my starting out. I remember I talked with a few people and had to figure out a price point that I was comfortable charging based on like my
value.
And exactly. Yeah. And like, I feel like even confidence kind of had to play because I was just starting out and I wasn't an expert yet.
Yep.
I felt like, oh, I shouldn't charge as much because I'm not, you know, where I think I should be for that amount.
Exactly.
But now that I'm like, man, like I wish I would have just had that confidence, which I know the course touches on.
Well, yeah, you know, and one of the most amazing parts about the course is the entire module. Tony Robbins is like full on throughout it. So Tony's in there talking about like mindset, the rituals to success, and not like vague pseudoscience stuff, but actually core stuff, directly confronting any insecurities you may have. So like the first thing is all about breaking through those limiting beliefs, because, you know, I'll give you an example. So I never thought it was humanly possible to share my passion and expertise at a premium. I never thought that I could ever bring value to the marketplace in such a way that we have, to the tune of having, you know, $10,000, $25,000, $50,000 programs for people. And I would have known it was possible because I didn't know the value that it provided to others.
Right.
And so a lot of times, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And so a lot of people might get stuck. You might be watching this, and whether you're an expert or just figuring out, you might go, well, you know, I don't know what my niche is, or what am I really an expert at, or what am I an expert at enough to sell at all, let alone sell at a premium.
Right.
And so one of the cool things is they have this narrow your niche training in it, and it like teaches you the step-by-step framework on like how to pick your niche.
Yeah.
And when you have like Tony Robbins and Graziosi signing off on like a blueprint on how to pick your niche, how to pick your expertise, how to try things, and if you need to pivot, you can always pivot later, how to get feedback from people, how to set up events, whether they're virtually or in person. It's like, dude, like...
all that is in the course.
Yeah, it's like a checklist. So it's plug and play of like...
It's like my first year in business.
Yes, exactly. It's like a crash course. And like your first year in business is going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars, thousands
trial
of
and
dollars,
error,
potentially even more.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it's a step-by-step framework that helps you do that. But like more than just like being an advocate of it or just like sharing it with others for, you know, just promo for whatever reason, like the truth is, like, I don't promote any. My audience knows this. For 3 years, we put out interviews, never asking for a single penny. Like we gave them value. So if we put something out, it's because we believe in it. And I'm excited to announce that not only have we had Dean on the show, but as a super special surprise, we may or may not be having Tony Robbins himself coming on the show.
Crossed.
So
say a little prayer.
Yeah, be sure to stay tuned for that, guys. But you know, that's one of the most amazing things. And then let alone, and I know we'll get into it about the actual logistics, for example, of my event, just because I want to bring value to other people.
Right. I was going to ask you about that. About
that,
what you learned from, how you took what you learned from the KBB course and program and how you put that into the event and how you think it affected it in a positive way.
Good question. If I would have done the live event, I would have done it totally different had I not just studied and taken the course.
Okay.
Because if I had done it my way, I would have tried to get a whole bunch of people. And while we still want to grow and expand that and reach way more people, the KBB course taught me that I can have it be a small group, right, an intimate group, and at scale, not only make it much more impactful for them, but make it much more profitable for us. And the fact that we're associated to contributing to kids with terminal cancer and donating that money. So my actual first event, I donated all the money to profit. I'm sorry, all to charity.
Yeah.
Not to profit.
That would be opposite of charity.
Yeah. We donated all the profits to charity is what I would say.
That's so cool.
And it was amazing. We actually took people, and in the course, it teaches you how to run the logistics of the live event. So
Okay.
all jokes aside, we actually got a bunch of people and we went to the limo. And I know that day you weren't able to make it yet.
I didn't go in the limo. I went separate because I wanted to drive somewhere afterwards. I had to leave afterwards.
Yeah.
But just going there and like I went to the hospital with you guys and I had the presents that you guys took or the toys that you guys took in the back of my car.
It was amazing. Yeah.
And I just like was thinking I didn't get to go in and I was really sad about it because I just like I've always wanted to volunteer and do that, which and I think it's so amazing that your first priority always not just like with this event, but I know Omar personally, and he is the type of person where if you don't have a shirt on and it's freezing outside, he will literally give you the shirt off of his back. And so I think it's really cool that your purpose behind like this event and just a lot of the stuff that you do in life is to give back. And I think that's so amazing. I think that's such a great trait that you have.
Thank you so much. We're actually on that note. We're actually having a live event mid-March feeding homeless people as well.
Yes, you told me about that.
So we're getting 100 double-doubles from In-N-Out and helping a bunch of the homeless. So yeah, it's a, for us, it's a recurring theme of not only sharing our knowledge and the expertise of the people that we interview on the show, but actually making sure to actually, spread the message and live by the message that it's by the passionate few for the passionate few.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people out there that just don't have opportunities. So whether it's clients or students or people that I help or people who want to be on the show, or it's people who watch our stuff and want to get to the next level, or maybe it's a group of people who are temporarily homeless or trying to figure out a situation to better their life or better their their living situation. It's like if we can turn that knowledge into profit and impact simultaneously, then we can have our cake and eat it too.
Right.
And so when we did the live event, what was different is that the KBB taught me how to create leverage.
Okay.
Right. So whereas I still occasionally do one-on-one coaching, but even at a premium, trading time for money, it's not a sustainable way to build wealth or build something big. Now, you can make money doing that, and I think it's awesome to start that way maybe and get the ball rolling. But the course teaches you how to either digitally or in person create a group situation. So what we did was bring people into the room. The tickets there was like $1,000 ticket, a $2,000 ticket for VIP.
I remember that.
And then it was cool. So we had a couple dozen people come in and we taught all day long, and we got to understand not only our niche, my niche in helping people launch their own show and podcast, but actually instead of just learning, we actually did it done for you. So one thing I learned in the KBB was to not only identify your ideal client, but identify their needs, their problems, their deepest desires. And a lot of people were getting overwhelmed with like, well, what do I name my show?
Simple stuff that you would think would be like quick, like you could figure it out easily.
Yeah, it's complexity is the enemy of execution. And what this course does is it takes those simple things and unties those knots, so you just boom, fly straight away. Simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication, and complexity is the enemy of execution. So with those 2 points in mind, it was like I narrowed my niche, I found my ideal client, and the course also talked about how to extract what it is people really want. So we realized a lot of people need a logo, a lot of people need help picking a name, a lot of people want to identify their audience, a lot of people need headshots.
And I feel like everybody who went to your event were so happy that you were doing those things, because it was just like, oh my gosh, Omar, we've been hung out on this. I remember the two girls that were sitting in the front. I forgot their names, but I remember they were like, I think we've been hung up on this for like the last like 6 months or something.
Oh,
like
the Suto twins.
Yes, I think it was them. I'm pretty sure. And I think it was their channel or like figuring out how to like broadcast it. I'm not sure 100% because it was last year. But I remember like you helped them with that, and they were like, wow, like they were so grateful. So I thought it was really cool that you included that.
We had a photographer doing the photos at the event. So food for thought. Maybe you guys have a skill set, a passion, or expertise that's maybe parallel to what I do online with helping people create their own show. And if you guys are interested in that, you can check that out in the description below. But maybe you have a different variation of what people need. And if you can not only facilitate knowledge, but actual like tactical specific things, like we had a photographer at the event taking headshots, so boom, they could check that off the list. We had a graphic designer who was making logos and putting the photos from the photographer into the logo, designing a cover. So boom, they leave the event.
Cover art done.
Exactly. They got the cover art, they got their YouTube art, they got their thumbnail. So they have all the graphics, all the name. We started the shows on the spot. I challenged people the first day to tonight, start your channel. register it, just get the ball moving in momentum.
Yeah.
So by the time they left, not only did they have the intellectual knowledge, but because the KBB taught me about how to identify the ideal clients and their problems and concerns and needs and desires.
You delivered to that.
Exactly. We delivered at a premium, and we charged a premium for that simultaneously. And we got to help people in the process. So, those are insights that had I done it on my own, it wouldn't have occurred to me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have occurred to me the value of it. I maybe would have sold tickets for $100 instead of $1,000.
Yeah.
Or I would have thought like, oh, I could never really charge that. Right? But I realized that like, just do the math, right? Like if people wanted to get a graphic designer, they wanted to get a photographer.
Yep.
They wanted to spend hours reading online about podcast stuff, right?
Yep.
How much time
Setting
that would
it
have
up
cost?
themselves.
That would have cost a multiple 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 times as much time and money. But by condensing what would take them a year in a weekend, helping them create content, doing it for them, we were able to turn that group event into something super beautiful. And I'm excited for all the new events we have coming up. So yeah, I would say that it helped me get more specific and do less better.
Oh,
create
I like
leverage.
that. I like that a lot. Now, I know that a lot of successful people, a lot of them think of things in terms of like ROI, like the return on their investment. How quickly can I get my money back from an investment? And I think that they keep that in mind when they're setting up like these programs or these courses, So
Totally.
I'm sure, 100% sure that Tony and Dean, when like creating this, we're like, okay, like how can, like you said, simplify this in the best way possible to make sure that it's effective and also like efficient, so that people can just get in, do the course, and then just kill it once they're done.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
So this course is just under $2,000.
Okay.
And a lot of people, we made that back in one ticket sale. Right?
Oh, right.
And so, but a lot of people could have higher price points, right? Some people have, we have
Depends
a
on your
$25,000,
niche,
$50,000 thing. And also depends on the value you're bringing to that particular thing. So you could have different levels of your masterminds, right? Like Tony, for example, has a, what's called his platinum partners. And then he has his Lion platinum partners, right?
Okay.
So they have different levels. So you can create sort of like a hierarchy, right? Like different like levels of it. But in terms of specific ROI, you should be able to make a multiple of your investment back on the first event. So again, it's for people for people who are serious. I mean, I and thousands of people have made it back in one ticket sale of their first event. So they have a lifetime of knowledge. It's a one-time fee, lifetime knowledge. Plus, it comes with the MindMint software. So
what's that?
The MindMint software was basically designed by Dean. I think they spent over $1 million in total on the software, and it's basically a software management tool to run all the logistics on the back end.
Wow.
So that you can have like, think of it as like a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet on steroids,
Oh my
specific
gosh, I love Microsoft Excel.
specific to masterminds, virtual or in person. So it helps you organize everything.
That's so
from
cool.
your marketing to your ads to your live events to your customer database. So you can have all those things integrated. So it's like a one-stop shop to have it all organized. So I would say that, just to pros and cons, right? For people who might be like, okay, like I like this, but like, okay, this just sounds like a sales pitch, right? Like, oh, I'm just like, no, I'm telling you factually, like
what you get out of the program.
Yeah, like this is for people who are serious about bringing their expertise, their knowledge, their skill sets to the world.
And turning it into a business.
Yeah, and turning it into a highly leveraged business.
Yeah.
Exactly. A business with infinite scale. Because if I do coaching one-on-one, I can trade you time for money.
But that's one person that
exactly.
you can...
Even at a premium, it's one person. But when you can bring that value to group, and not only that, create the benefit, and this is one cool thing about the course, of Groupthink. Well, now guess what? Now, for example, instead of me talking to one person who might have questions and giving them major value, well, now I can do that, but I can also have 20 other people who might have other questions in the mastermind that go, they could be at the event and go, oh, well, what about this? And then the person goes, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and it helps the other people.
Exactly. And now I hear the group's questions.
Yeah.
And now our expert staff of our team, Kevin on, audio, he can help people with their audio engineering. We have people who can help with video, photo, all that. So every element of technical to on camera to off camera to mindset of filming and uncomfortable, right? You hear everyone's questions and now they build relationships and they become friends.
Yeah.
And so now you build lifelong relationships. Many of them have gone on to do business together, work together, produce stuff for other people. Araceli was at our mastermind.
Oh, yeah.
And she just interviewed the founder of a $100 million restaurant company
on
the spot at the event. Yeah, on the spot at the event. We had people who were like, dude, we want to get big interviews. You've interviewed, I've had the good fortune of interviewing over $10 billion worth of entrepreneurs, people like Ed Milet, Grant Cardone, Lisa Nichols from The Secret, billionaire founder of Patron Tequila, Paul Mitchell.
That's so crazy, all those names.
It's been crazy. Like, I never even thought it would be possible.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, you know, through the course, it taught me how to, like, identify their pain points. And we found that people didn't know how to get their first guest, right? They had all these limiting beliefs.
Right.
And so on the spot, I had people come up, held my phone, and on speaker, I actually helped them get interviews live. And Araceli went on to, you know, just to have some testimonies, Araceli went on to interview, you know, a restaurateur of a $100 million company that's super famous here in Newport Beach called Javier's.
Oh, yes.
We're having him on the show as well. And so that was awesome. And she actually helped me with that, you know. So your students inside of your mastermind can actually help you just as much as you can help them.
Building your network.
Yeah, at events like that. It's amazing. And then, you know, shout out to the Unbreakables podcast. They're killing it. And so there's just been so many people that have been benefiting. And I was like, whoa, not only did I create a win for me, a win for, you know, those in need, and we have a bunch of other causes that we're involved in. But, you know, and I don't say that to impress people. I say to impress upon people what is possible. Whether you want to make profits for yourself, that's awesome. You know, or you want to share a portion of that to help others, that's awesome too. And we'll put a link below for A Day to Play, which is a nonprofit you guys can, you know, donate to if you guys are interested in helping support. It's basically a nonprofit that helps kids with terminal illness, you know, have toys and get people to spend time and money on them because very often they need hope. Yeah. And a lot of those kids don't know if, you know, how much life they have left. And so, you know, it was just a beautiful thing. And, you know, since then we've gone on to do many more things, but, you know, it was amazing that when we started, we took this little idea and, you know, breathed life into it in a beautiful way like that.
So you got your return on your investment.
Oh, big time. Big time. Not only did we get a return, the people who attended got a you know, return. I mean, there was a residual impact. So, so, you know, pros and cons is like, you know, the pros are obviously what I stated. The cons are if you were to invest in a course, in any course, and you don't plan to actually execute. I think there's a stat saying like 10% of people who actually invest in courses actually go on to apply, which blows my mind. Right. So if you're a dabbler, this isn't the product for you. It's not the course for you. This is for masters. This is for people who are really committed to take their knowledge, their expertise, their skill sets, share it with other people in a group leverage dynamic, who want to help people at scale and who want to cut down the learning curve and not waste time and not run into walls. I know when I started, I would just run into walls and how much do I charge and what do I do? And I was just guessing. Right. You know, and there's two ways to do anything in life, right? If I wanted to build a building, there's two ways to do it. One, I could design a blueprint and execute the blueprint. Or I could just guess how to do it and
start putting things together and hope it works.
And hope it works. Yeah. So do you want to win or do you want to hope? And you know, for me, it was about winning and winning at scale and yeah. So the cons would be basically like if you're not committed or you're just dabbling in it, it's probably not you or not the right time for you. But if you're somebody who, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or expert at having expertise or connecting with experts and you want to broker it, like we talked about earlier, that's really who it's for. So people who are hungry for more, who want to have more fulfillment, more joy, more impact. And maybe, you know, there's been this huge advent of people wanting to do courses. Well, the thing is, a course, a lot of times there's not that interaction, there's not that personal dynamic. And a lot of people struggle with that. But so many more people, you know how many people would love to go to a live event, even if it's small. You can have small events and have major profits and impact at the same time. So at any level you want to play, if you really want to, you know, get in there, play full out. I mean, this is a course for people who really want to do that. And so it's definitely not for people who are dabblers. You could be a beginner who's committed. Yeah. You could also be someone intermediate or expert who's not committed. Right. So
it's all dependent on you.
Exactly. So at any level you're at, it's for people who are like all in, who are not afraid to get into the trenches, not afraid to implement the tools. And while they'll teach you all the different things on how to market, this is one of the coolest things. In this new 2.0 version, which you guys can check out at www.omarslink.com. It'll be in the description. There should be a link here. So you got to buy exclusively through that one. But basically in it teaches you how to market on Facebook, how to market on YouTube, right? Like how to specifically create marketing campaigns that win, how to create a landing page that wins, how to qualify potential clients, how to understand them, how to find them, how to literally like extract your wisdom and speak to them. So you're not just in a crapshoot of running ads, not knowing what you're doing, logistics of not knowing what you're doing. It's like step by step, so that you line them up, You pull one domino down, press the trigger, and all the dominoes fall.
Yeah, I feel like that's a huge part of business. That's something for me that I struggled with for a while, was finding clients and,
totally.
trying to figure out. I'm actually working on something now where I think this program would be perfect for me.
Make sure to give her a follow.
So I'm just thinking like, wow, like all the stuff that I've been struggling with recently. I mean, there's some stuff in it that I've kind of already gone through trial and error that I've learned from.
Right.
But just like that marketing portion would be amazing for me. But one thing I did want to say, just from personal experience, like I did a digital course myself. I set it up with Luis, who is a good friend of both of us. And I didn't think it was possible to make money from teaching people how to be an influencer.
Right.
I thought that was kind of like, well, people don't want to be influencers, you know, like maybe there's some people that do, but I had a lot of knowledge because I not only did it myself, but I was helping people in my life to also do it. And they were successful. And so Luis had told me, he was like, you know what, like you've got to do this. Like you have so much knowledge. He's like, you've got to do a course. You should be like teaching people and like helping them out. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, and I made money from it. Like, I don't want to disclose how much, but like it turned into a business for me. And I was just like, whoa, like I didn't realize that you could do this. So if you're passionate about something, your own business, or maybe you just have an expertise level of knowledge in a certain area, you can literally take that and turn it into a business. Like, a lot of people, I think, are afraid to rely on themselves and have that confidence. And I mean, I've been there.
Yeah,
but
we all have.
It's so cool how it can change your life when you take a chance on yourself. And a lot of people will look at the price point on this and probably be like, oh, it's, it's too much, or I don't want to spend that money.
Yeah, or I got to pay a credit card, or I'm nervous, it's $2,000.
Exactly. Like they would rather spend money to go on a trip than they would to invest in their future. And this is a huge investment that will pay off over and over and over again throughout your life. So just personal testimony, it really does work. It's dependent on you and how much you want it.
And the other thing too is like, you said that perfectly. I mean, I really have nothing to say. You
okay, bye guys.
But the other thing I want to say is like, what it'll cost you to invest in it, right? To do it.
Yeah.
But think about what it would cost you to not.
Oh, that's great. That's so great.
Think about that, right? So there's two options, right? Now play the tape. Imagine you have a VCR. And the way I thought of it myself, this is what made me do it. I said, okay, look, the course costs $2,000. I said, I know I want to get to the next level. I know I'm serious. I know I'm going to invest anyways.
Right.
But I was like, well, maybe later, right? Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe down the road.
Right.
Like, let me hear what people have to say, or maybe I can get the free stuff on YouTube. And
kind of like trying to talk yourself out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Trying to justify staying where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so I played the tape. I did this exercise. And I have this coach who told me this cool thing. He gave me this exercise. He said, imagine you have a VCR or DVD player or whatever, and there's two potential movies. One movie that you could put in the VCR or the DVD player, let's say DVD. Okay. So there's two movies. I play one movie, and that movie is what happens if I don't invest, I keep the money, and I let the cons outweigh the pros in my head. Okay. Best case scenario, I keep the money, miss out on the knowledge, miss out on the wisdom, go through trial and error, but hey, at least I keep the money and I figure it out on my own over time. Okay, the best case scenario. Okay, and then the other thing is I take that movie out and I try another movie. The other movie is the one of me taking action, making the investment, realizing that like this thing will help me figure out my niche. Yeah. And there's niches literally from every industry, men, women. Literally,
you literally could do a niche in like how to become like a plumber, or like a job that's undesirable.
Yeah, and teach people how to build a freelance plumbing business. Yeah, exactly. Seriously, yeah. There's people there was like a painting alligators. There's people, and seriously, so awesome. Yeah, there's a lady who's done that. Literally, and you guys can check it out. Like at the link below, you'll be able to see that there's literally testimonies and people that you can actually follow and check out. They're legitimate, not like fake testimonies blowing smoke. Right. Of people from every niche, whether it's YouTube, social media, marketing, branding, business.
A lot of gym, like fitness.
Health, yoga, meditation, even like there's like skateboarding and like soccer, like sports, like basketball. It teaches people how to build a freelance basketball coaching business, right? There's all these different niches that if you're passionate and there's that little inkling, that's the inkling that you should pursue. And like there's just all those little things about finding your niche, how to monetize it, how to find people, how to market it. Like it's loaded up from mindset with Tony Robbins fueling every step of the way, and Graziosi giving you tactical step-by-step stuff. So it's like, everything. So like with that in mind, if I play that movie forward, I'm like, okay, say I make the investment, right? Let's imagine I have no money. right? If I have money, I'm a little bit more willing.
Right.
Let's say I have no money or I'm tight on time, tight on resources, but I do it anyways. What's the
Right.
best case scenario of that investment? Best case scenario, it changes my life. Best case scenario, I help hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people. Best case scenario, I help kids with cancer.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? Best case scenario, we help feed the homeless.
That's such a good way to
Best
look at
case
it.
scenario, yeah. And I'm not saying that to, again, like we do a lot of different stuff, helping people. And again, I'm not saying it to like boast about it, but I'm saying because like it's really meaningful to me.
Yeah.
When I had nothing, I would go volunteer at homeless shelters and hand out stuff.
I know you have pictures of that.
Yeah, so to be able to
cool.
be in a position to like fund that and get involved in, and not only that, we had other people like donors people we interviewed on the show, experts that we've brokered, so to speak, who also contributed and wanted to donate money. So by building that whole thing, like I play that movie and I'm like, damn.
And I feel like the worst case scenario.
That movie is a movie I want to watch, right? Even if
right.
it's a minor inconvenience now. So, I encourage, people to, the same way I did, is like, you know what it will cost you to do it, but what will it cost you not to?
Not to. Yeah, and I was just going to say that the worst case scenario, if you do play that DVD or put the money into it, and maybe you're not ready at that time, like how you said, like Grant Cardone said, time and money, So maybe you put the money forth, but you don't really put the time forth. The worst case scenario is that you have that when you're ready to give the time, It's like, maybe you're excited and you purchase the course and you're a week, 2 weeks in and maybe something happens in your life, something tragic happens and you kind of like step away from it for a minute. You can always go back to it and then hit it hard again. I feel like that's the worst case, you know? Whereas like, okay, you go and buy a car, you spend $20,000 on a car, depreciates in value, and it just gets worse and worse.
Exactly.
Whereas this course and program, it literally can last you.
Exactly. And if you think about it in the context of not only how much time it will take you, think about how much money you'll end up spending anyways. If you're committed to turning your knowledge and passion into profit, think about what it will cost you in time, energy, and inefficiency over the long haul versus a one-time boom.
That anyways. Yeah.
So, I think you absolutely nailed it. And for you guys listening, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment with me and Amanda as we, shared not only what we were able to do in our own personal life and our own personal business. And again, thank you guys who've helped us grow it with, the Passionate Few. But if you've considered and thought about the course, thought about investing in it, just wanted to speak to you heart to heart here. I know there's a lot of people talking about the course. A lot of you hear a lot of stuff from Tony, a lot of stuff from Dean, but really I've got to know both of them. And as you guys know, hopefully my work has shown that 100% transparency over the last 3 years has built an audience that has reached millions of people. And I'm thankful to you guys who've subscribed over the years. And I got to tell you, like, I wouldn't put someone on a platform or share something if I didn't really believe in the message. But I'm so passionate, as you guys can see, passionate about bringing the stories of the passionate few. So if you're one of the passionate few who's committed to taking your knowledge, your passion, your experience, and your expertise, or others, and something in this story speaks to you and you want to check it out, I want to encourage you to check out the KBB 2.0 course. And you guys can grab that in the description below at omarslink.com, www.omarslink.com. Check it out. And if you want to make the investment in that course, I highly recommend you do it. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me. We'll put our social media handles in the description below so you guys can personally reach out. Me or my team will get back to you. It's something that I truly believe in, and it's the reason that me and Amanda were talking, and she was like, I would love to pick your mind about it. And I said, well, sure. Why don't we bring some cameras and sort of kill two birds with one stone. Right. So I hope this really inspired you guys, and I hope something in it might speak to you and your expertise where you're at, whether you want to start masterminds virtually in person, because I got to tell you, there's nothing like turning your passion into profits and impact. So hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to check it out at omarslink.com. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. Until next time, thank you. Live strong, live with passion. Peace. Thank you. Great job.
Thanks for having me.
If you guys enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now, because every week we bring you the very best in personal development content, interviews, and insight to help inspire you to take your life and your dreams and make them a reality. And also, if you want to know how to book dream guests the same way I have, you can check the link below for my top 3 secrets. So if you have a podcast or a show or whatever it is and you want to collaborate with them, if you click that link below, I'll give you those top 3 secrets to help you get in touch with anybody. And also, don't forget that The Passionate Few is available on media platforms as well. So you can subscribe to the podcast. And until next time, thank you for being one of the passionate few.